aim to get the maximum number of dealers registered into your program that you can. But the challenge is that a lot of people don't open emails. So in this video, we'll show a simple but powerful automated workflow to get the best rate of registration from your dealers while also being sure not to come across as spammy. So when you install the standards training and enablement solution, it actually creates for you a couple of things. One of them is it creates this invitation email template, which is going to be sent to your recipients, right? That's the group which has all your dealers that you want to invite in it. It just has a very simple message, which of course you can edit in our visual editor. And crucially, when this email is sent, it's set up to start a journey, which is this one here. So if we ever look at that journey, now you notice this journey has 2 start points. This first one is the one that gets used when you're starting from that email. So when we send this email out to your dealers, for each dealer, it's going to start this journey. The second one here is also started that it starts when a user registers directly on your website, because you want to support both. You want to support both invitations to your dealers, but also allowing them to come to your website. It's been registered that way. Now, by default, this journey, it sends that first email and it doesn't send any follow-ups. It just waits for them to register, which triggers this goal, this create credentials goal. And then it sends them a welcome email. If they register online, it goes through an approval process, tells them their registration is pending. If it's approved, then it joins into the same workflow as for invitation. Now, we're just going to modify this journey. So I've created a D2 here. I've just shifted the layout around to make this a little bit easier. So what I'm going to do for you is disconnect that from there. So it still starts the same way. We're going to send that invitation email. We're going to wait to see if they do respond and they register into the system. But we're going to use this timeout node so that if they don't, we're going to send them another email. So what I'll just duplicate this one. That's it there. I'm going to connect up this timeout node. So how long do we want to wait? Let's say 3 days. So we're going to give them 3 days until this goal that we're waiting for times out. So if it is achieved, then we just want to do what we do before. We do want to send that welcome or thank you email. So yeah, if we get 3 days in, they haven't registered yet, then we're going to send them this follow-up email. Now, this is where we have to be a little bit careful. If we just send them the same content again, that will come across as spammy and that will start to annoy your clients. Now, what you can do is something like, you make new content here. You can say something like, just a reminder that the Acme portal is now live. You can just sort of shape the message a little bit differently, like, this brings together the latest industry news and incentives. Now, something you can do is you can actually make an offer. You can say something like, register within the next 7 days and we'll give you $100 worth of points to get started. But now, obviously, you should put that in the email. You've actually got to do it as well, which we can do in the Journey Designer. Okay, so we're going to put some thought into that email. We're going to send that now. What we should also do, if you have a phone number for them, and you often will, send them a SMS as well. We're going to send them the email. We're going to send them an SMS reminder. We'll just put some text in there, which I won't bother doing right now, that there will just be a short message. Once we've sent that, we're going to actually do the same thing as here. We're going to wait to see if they do actually register, right? So we connect them up, and if they do, fantastic, they're in the program. If they don't, so we're going to put a 3-day timeout on this one as well. There we go, copy that, so it's already there. So what do we do then? What do we do if 3 days is so we've waited 3 days, we've reminded them we've waited 3 days again. Sometimes you can just send them a third email. If you have good content, if you have something that you can give them, a third email, which is different to your last two, that can be a thing you do. Often you won't though. So now, one thing you can do here, I'm going to do, is say, or I'm just going to create a task, right? We're going to handle this manually. Now, this is not going to be right for every situation, for every company. But if you've got on the order of 100 or perhaps a couple of 100 dealers, it probably does make sense to handle the laggards manually. That might do. So by creating a task, what we're doing is you're just going to have a simple list in Kademi of dealers who haven't registered yet, and it's just going to go through that list and just try to reach out to them perhaps by direct personal email, perhaps through LinkedIn. Now, when they do that, obviously there was a couple of possible outcomes. This one is that for whatever reason, you can't reach them. Maybe they've gone out of business. Maybe they're not actually selling your product anymore. So that's an outcome that can happen. Can't make contact. And we're going to choose that is going to indicate that the lead, the journey is lost, it's cancelled, and we can't give it a reason there. Because is that you have succeeded, in which case we want to link it up into the usual workflow. So I'll just put a bit of text here, try to contact a dealer. Manually. And if you have sales reps and your sales reps are in contact with them, with your dealers, that is a great way to do it. You can actually assign this to a sales rep. Yeah. So you're out. You can have rules on here to say who to assign that to. So look, that's all I wanted to show for now. So this just shows a really simple way of sending a couple of follow-ups in going into a manual process to get your sales reps or an administrator to try and contact your dealers. At the end of that, it's pretty reasonable to expect you'll get somewhere between, say, 50 and 70% of your dealers should have registered. You're never going to get all of them. What you can do to get the last ones is once your program is actually underway, then send a follow-up email which tells them something like, hey, this many other dealers have registered. This is how many training modules they've done. This is how much money has been paid out in total, obviously not individual dealers, but, give them a sense that they are missing out here, that there's a lot going on. So that will usually motivate most of the remainder, right? I hope you've enjoyed this.